Red Raider football picks up their first road win of the season. You're watching Double T Insider. I'm Taylor Peters alongside Robert Giovanetti. And really a must-win situation on the road. The Red Raiders go to Morgantown and defeat West Virginia 38-17. I mean, they needed that in order to be able to have an opportunity to hopefully make it to a bowl game.
You want to get to those 6 wins, but it was very impressive just the way they came out and took control right from the beginning. Very aggressive offensively in that first half especially, and never really, the game was never really in doubt at a certain point early in the game.
And Coach Wells said after the game he was really impressed with the play from his receivers, in particular Eric Ezukama and RJ Turner, who both played really well on Saturday and created a lot of opportunities for Texas Tech to score the ball. Early
in the game, the run-pass option, Jet was running that to perfection, and so many of our receivers were wide open, and credit to Jet for finding them, making the right reads. And you mentioned the receivers, and Dalton Rigdon had the big play as well. So it was about as efficient as a half as you'll see in offense. Jet Duffy would go 24 of 34 with 1 touchdown. This is maybe the most poised that I've seen him play, and we've talked about it a little bit on this show. It's not necessarily confidence, because he's always been really confident, but he's just so relaxed. He's got so much poise out there, and I just think that makes a huge difference really in the confidence that his receivers have in him. We've seen early on with Jet, he's moved from a game manager to a guy that's really starting to make some big plays. Coach Wells mentioned it at his Monday press conference. Some of those catches his receivers made did give him a little extra confidence, but you could see that on the sidelines. And the way he was acting, the way the receivers were acting, that they really did grow with confidence as the game wore on. And how about Sir Roderick Thompson, who really has come a long way throughout the course of the season? He and Tajon Henry both played really tough, and even just their yards after contact, they just showed such fight and such resolve to get the first down and to score the touchdown. Sir Roderick had some big yards after contact. A couple times it looked like he was going to go down, and he ended up getting a few extra yards, which were really vital to the game. Congratulations to Texas Tech football, and another big win right here at home for Red Raider basketball as they defeated Bethune-Cookman on Saturday. Another a really good, impressive performance from this team, in particular TJ Holyfield, who was really the player of the game for the 2nd straight game. Holyfield named the Big 12 freshman, newcomer of the week, and he has just stepped in and just really been impressive. And we talked about him, I think, last week, the way he's able to step back. He's hard to guard, and he's really taken a leadership role offensively. 20 points for TJ Holyfield, and then you have Jamias Ramsey, who almost has a double-double. He's really kind of sneaky about it, and I use that word because you kind of just look up and holy cow, he's got 10 points, he's got 13 points, but he is going to be really, really good this year. He's a stat compiler, as you mentioned. You don't notice it, and all of a sudden he's got some assists, he's got a lot of rebounds, he's in double digits. Again, another guy, very hard, difficult to guard, and you saw him really take a tough foul near the end of the game, and he's just a guy that the team rallies around him. And finally, Red Raider soccer would learn their fate as they will host Pepperdine in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They didn't get that Big 12 tournament title, but Jordy Harwood set a Big 12 tournament record for the fastest score scored in just, 53 seconds? Yeah, we were all in West Virginia. We turned on the game, and the game was delayed, and when we finally got it online, Tech had already scored a goal. And Jordy had set the record for the fastest goal in Big 12 championship history. But a tough loss for them, but they get rewarded with the first round game against Pepperdine, and that's going to be a tough opponent for Tom Stone. And this is the part of the season that matters, right? There's no doubt. And he's been building Tom Stone's been building to this all season long. For more details on Red Raider soccer as they host Pepperdine this coming weekend, you can visit our website at texastech.com. Still to come on Double T Insider, we're talking more Red Raider football and the Texas Tech defense. We'll be right back.
He's a West Texas native who donned the scarlet and black on the football field in the late 1950s. The 2-year letter winner earned a bachelor's degree in education before graduating from medical school. As an orthopedic surgeon, he served the Amarillo community for nearly 3 decades, never forgetting his ties to Texas Tech. He's been a member of the Board of Regents and the Chancellor's Council. But Dr. Bob Stafford's proudest achievement is family. These are the real people of Texas Tech.
And now how does West Virginia respond here? Kendall out of the gun. Incomplete. Looking for Campbell, and it popped up, taken the other way by Texas Tech. Douglas Coleman, a nose for the football with his 8th interception of the season, tops in the country.
Welcome back into Double T Insider. Defense was really at the center of that victory in West Virginia on Saturday. Douglas Coleman still leading the country with 8 interceptions.
Doug with a big game on Saturday. A lot of credit to that defensive line, which causes a lot of situations where the secondary is able to take advantage of that. The whole defense, really, we've seen it all year long, preaching turnovers.
But 4 turnovers would come on Saturday. We had a chance to sit down with defensive coordinator Keith Patterson to break down a few of them. Welcome into Wednesday Rewind. I'm Taylor Peters here with defensive coordinator Keith Patterson. Coach, an enormous road game victory for your group. What was the most maybe impressive part about your room in particular with Jordan and Rico and the way that they were able to make some big plays?
Well, I thought probably the consistency in which they played the game. I mean, it was probably the best game that all 3 of our linebackers have played. I mean, we gave up 51 yards rushing, you know, and we destroyed the line of scrimmage up front. And, you know, Xavier played probably his best game of the season, got a couple of quarterback pressures. And then Rico probably played his best game of the season. So that was very gratifying to watch those guys. I mean, they carried out the game plan. We knew we had to force takeaways going in on a road game to give ourselves a chance to win.
And you hold them to just 17 points, and we'll start with the guy that you just mentioned, Enrico Jeffers. It's about, what, a minute and 15 and left to go in the first quarter. Take us there.
That's right. I mean, 2 of Rico's plays, you know, obviously he had the 2 forced fumbles, and right here we're bringing a 6-man pressure, and Rico was coming around the right end and does a nice job bending, running the hoop right here. One of the things that we teach when we're coming from the backside of the quarterback is, you'll see right here, he'll take his right hand and make a play on the football right there. And again, the best part of that play was the heads up by Eli right there to realize that that was a fumble and to play through the end of the whistle. He's able to recover that. If that receiver right there falls on the ball and they roll it a fumble, it's going to be a first down on the 18-yard line. So that was a big play in the game. Yeah, and the next big play that we're going to talk about right here was the same guy, Enrico Jeffers, and Jordan Brooks would come together to make a really huge play to force a turnover. So take us there right now. Yeah, we got them in 3rd and double extra long right here. So we max drop it, make the ball come out in front of us. Jordan does a nice job making a tackle there in space, and then here comes Rico. Creating population of the ball carrier, does a nice job right there with his right hand punching the football out. Jordan having the awareness to pick the ball, scoop the ball up and try to get it on the sidewalk and try to go score. So that was a huge play in the game. Yeah, you mentioned it, just Jordan's sense of awareness to know where he's at and what's going on, and to be able to see the ball and have the athleticism to jump up, pick up the ball and run it back a little bit. That's right. He's definitely an exceptional athlete and just has a great feel for the game of football. This next play coming up is a really big play from one of your defensive backs in DeMarcus Fields, making an interception in the end zone. What did you see right here from DeMarcus? Yeah, over the course of probably the last 4 weeks, unbalanced formations have been big against us. For whatever reason, they run the flea flicker right here. Again, DeMarcus showing great anticipation right here, showing good patience. And Xavier right there. That's right. Some pressure on the quarterback. That's exactly right. That makes a big difference too. When we get a hard play action right there, we get an add in right there by Xavier, forces the ball out maybe a little bit quicker than what he wanted. Because both safeties were under a little bit of stress right there. They bit on the play action just a little bit. And again, does a great job of high pointing the football right there. An exceptional play. Now we're just trying to get the ball out of the end zone, get it on the near sidewalk, try to get it back outside right here. Just got to get some block shield and try to take that thing and go score. A great play from DeMarcus. Good job from your defensive unit on Saturday, Coach. Thank you. And good luck this weekend as you host TCU on Saturday. We're looking forward to it. This is your Wednesday Rewind. For Coach Patterson, I'm Taylor Peters.
Coach Patterson said that he was really probably most impressed with Rico Jeffers, who kind of had a breakout game, and really you saw a couple of plays there where he really rushed the quarterback and was able to put pressure on them that, like you said earlier, kind of creates more opportunities for some of those defensive backs to make big plays. The entire defense, the game changed in that first drive when you hold West Virginia to a field goal. You come down and score a touchdown, then you get the turnover, and before you can look up, it's 21-3. A lot of credit to the offense, but the defense held that game in check throughout the first half, and you never really were in doubt after that 21-3. And defense will be critical this weekend as they host TCU coming up on Saturday for an 11 o'clock kick. Coming up next on Double T Insider, we take one more final look at that big win in Morgantown. Welcome back to Double T Insider. That victory was really big for this team for a lot of different ways, but from a morale standpoint and from a confidence standpoint, it just kind of showed that this team went out and they executed their system and they took command and control, and it made all the difference in that game. You
think back to last year, you had a lead against West Virginia, we're not able to hold on to it, and think back to a couple weeks ago, you have the 17-0 lead against Kansas and then allowed a couple big plays. Defense did a really nice job of not allowing those over-the-top big plays, those kind of home run, walk-off home run type plays that Coach Wells talked about, and that was the difference in the game, that you just never could allow West Virginia to get anything going offensively. And something that Coach Wells said after the game was, this team gave us a chance to win before they even stepped off the plane. And that just credits their preparation is something they preach all the time. He had talked all week about, I think these guys are really ready. You're going to really see a great effort from these guys on Saturday. We relived that excitement from Saturday just one more time with the cinematic recap. Take a look.
You got a good look in your eye, you're ready? You got a great week of practice. Trust your training, all right? Trust the plan, and trust all the preparation you put in it. You're fresh, coming off bye week, you feel good, you practice good. Bring the passion and the energy right out of the gate.
Tony, dominate the game today. You don't have opportunities, Tony. Make plays.
Dogs on 2-1-2. Dog.
Tipped in the air, and Douglas Coleman has another pick. He's heading back in the four-play action. Here's a deep pass. This one is caught, and this one will go for a score. It is Dalton Rigdon. Touchdown, Red Raiders. First and goal, Red Raiders, and it's Ezekama that makes yet another catch for Tech. Sidesteps a defender in the backfield, puts his shoulders down, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Raiders. Red Raiders will be able to go to a knee and then go to the locker room and head back home with a win.
I think that gave us a chance before we ever got on the plane for victory. Really proud of that. These guys just continue to fight, and I respect that locker room. Just really proud of our guys.
A huge win for Texas Tech football on Saturday, and another big one for the Red Raider basketball program. We'll talk that game next on Double T Insider.
Muscle his way up to the rim, but Ken has the ball stolen away there by Kyler Edwards on the outlet to Shannon. Slam, jam, bam, home. And a timeout quickly by Bethune-Cookman as the Red Raiders get out to a 7-0 start here in Lubbock.
Welcome back into Double T Insider. What an incredibly athletic play from freshman Terrence Shannon. And we talked about it a little bit, you and I, just this raw, organic, pure talent that exists in a lot of these newcomers, and we saw it in a big way on Saturday. It's hard to even really get a grasp for it so far. There's so many of them. They offer such diverse talents on the floor, but the one thing I think that the word you mentioned, athletic, and when you watch that team, you can't help but be just really impressed with their athleticism. And one of the players that the coaches are really impressed with is Russell Chiwa. I mean, Big Russ can be really, really lethal for this team. He gives you something that maybe you haven't had a lot of in the past. You've had the size. You had Tariq Owens last year, had the size, but he was a different kind of player than you see with Big Russ. So yeah, the way he fits in will really be, that'll be fun to watch develop over the season. It's been such an exciting first week of Red Raider basketball. Let's take a look at their first 2 wins of the season.
emotion there at the start of the game. Big crowd, first Division I game for a lot of guys, and then you put on top of that the two banners and the videos and all this. That's hard to do. But I thought our guys, there was a calmness to us early that was really impressive. Pressure is why you play at this level, why you coach at this level, why you support a team at this level. It's a new season. I thought our guys tonight did a great job of embracing that. This team was ready to play tonight against a team that we had a lot of respect for.
Into Shannon, look out below, two-hand dunk. Jamias Ramsey for three, bang! A guns-up three ball, it's Jamias Ramsey.
Just keep talking to these guys about opportunity versus pressure, and I thought they did a great job tonight embracing that.
Ramsey catapults for three, bang! A guns-up three ball.
Just so happy for our guys to be able to go out there and see Red Raider Nation show up in force.
Right wing, only good with four, the three, step back, got it! Spins, drives, window, layup, good! Finger roll time, TJ Holyfield putting on a show.
There won't be a better crowd in all of college basketball tonight, no matter where the game's played, than we just had here in Lubbock, Texas. And this year's team, we're going to try to win the team basketball. I have a lot of confidence in all of our players. You play the game, and on each night, different guys have to step up to win.
And he's going to try to line it up from distance and gets it right away. So the Red Raiders out to a 5-0 start here, and this crowd going crazy. The ball stolen away there by Kyler Edwards. On the outlet to Shannon. Slam jam, bam, home.
Shot clock stolen by Edwards. Down the floor for Shannon. Shannon dunks.
Shot in the air is good for Kyler Edwards.
McCullough. Holyfield. Yes, sir. That's really good basketball right there.
Fuller fakes left, drives right. Holyfield, look out! Throws it down. TJ Holyfield, a dunk machine.
All right, team on three. 1, 2, 3, team!
The Red Raiders will head off to Midland to face off against Houston Baptist Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Coming up next on Double T Insider, we let you know what else is happening on campus this weekend. You can get your copy of Raider Power documenting last year's historic postseason run for Red Raider basketball by visiting Amazon and also ttupress.org. And you can also get your copy signed by Coach Beard at the Barnes & Noble at the South Plains Mall Sunday at 12:30. Coming up this weekend, Red Raider football will host TCU for an 11 o'clock kick inside Jones AT&T Stadium.
Meanwhile, Marlene Stallings and her Lady Raider basketball team finally in action. They'll open up Thursday at home against Sam Houston State. That'll tip off at 6. And then Monday at the United Supermarkets Arena against Florida A&M. That also will tip off at 6. And this Friday night at the John Walker Soccer Complex, 6:30, Texas Tech Soccer hosting the first round of the NCAA tournament. They will host Pepperdine.
That's all of our time for now. Thanks so much for joining us today on Double T Insider. For Robert Giovanetti, I'm Taylor Peters. We'll see you next week. And if you missed any part of today's show, head on over to texastech.com or download the Texas Tech TV app on Apple TV and Roku.